Hey cats, it's Ed Midsole Bud here. Today I've got for you my most anticipated running shoes that are being released during the second half of 2020. Welcome cats. Thanks for tuning in, it's always appreciated. If you're yet to do so, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when we launch the new videos for you. It helps us out a bunch as well if you give this video a thumbs up like and also share it with your running buddies. Dankeschön. Das ist sehr gut. There's been a whole bunch of running shoe releases already in 2022. It's all getting a bit overwhelming. So many succulent morsels like thermoplastic falcons flying into 2022. Today I have for you my most anticipated shoe releases of the next half year. We'll start with number 1. First up, a potential cracker from Asics. With the magic speed, they are certainly rising out of their traditional running shoe pigeonhole and hanging out with the other manufacturers with their plated daily trainers. That Magic Speed 2 really has taken my fancy, especially after I've seen some pictures of the forthcoming Metaspeed Sky Plus. We got a higher stacked beast this time round with Flight Foam Blast Plus this time in the midsole. It could be one of those shoes that dethrones the fan favourite Zoom Fly or even the Saucony Endorphin Speed. There, I said it. It might be that shoe though that takes away the crown. Very clearly a trainer to the forthcoming Metaspeed Sky and Edge Plus shoes. Plus, I think you've got to agree the shoe looks very similar in terms of the actual profile and midsole stack. I don't know the possible price on this one yet. I would assume it's going to retail a bit more than the original Magic Speed, but it's certainly very high on my wanted list. Next up, a potential rival to the Adidas Adizero Prime X. That was probably my shoe of last year. New Balance are set to launch the expanded and magnified midsole of the Fuel Cell SC trainer. Looks like this one's coming in the relatively near future. No crystal ball stuff here from me, but I would assume it's going to drop in the next couple of months at least. This will almost rival the Prime X in terms of heel stack, though there's perhaps less actual midsole foam here underfoot due to that whopping cutout that you can see here on the outsole. It almost stretches the whole length of the shoe. I call it removal of foam to make the shoe lighter. They call it energy arc. There's quite a bit more. Well, actually, that's a bit of an understatement, in fact. There's loads of rubber on the SC trainer compared to that SC Pacer that I reviewed very recently. I am intrigued to see just how substantial the upper is on this shoe. It certainly looks a little bit thicker than what we got on the SC Pacer. I wonder if it'll be quite as light on the top of the foot as the Prime X was, another max cushion shoe. That had the absolute lightest of uppers that you could possibly get away with all that Light Strike Pro midsole foam underneath. I think the upper probably hardly contributed to the weight of the Prime X at all. Either way, I'm very excited for this max cushioned fuel cell model from New Balance. Not just max cushion though here, we're going to have a little bit of rigidity about it, and I hope to get a bit of pop on the toe off. It's certainly well deserved of a place in my most anticipated shoes of 2022. Let me know in the comments as to which releases you are most excited about, viewers. I really want to see those fingers. One big issue with a lot of the higher stack models is the lack of midsole drop. And of course, many of them now have the introduction of extra elements like plates or rods. So get ready to be surprised, guys, because I'm actually now really excited about the release of Nike's Zoo Max Invincible Run Flyknit 2. Yep, you heard that right, you haven't gone crazy. People will know that I was kind of a fan of the first one, but I had some real issues with it. It caused me some pretty bad blisters on the outside of my big toes. Something that no other shoe I've ever tried has given me. Yes, there are only upper updates here in this new 2022 version of the shoe, but I really grew to love the V1 after a little while. Certainly for daily use, for casual use. It's just so forgiving underfoot that I think there's still a bit of room in the rotation. I'll give it a second chance with this new version. It's one of those shoes that I found I could get out there when perhaps the legs were a little bit worn out or needed a bit of convincing. Really keen to try out the full-length Zoo Max once again, although it is the rubbery Zoo Max. I'm hoping going a half size down maybe might remove that blister issue. Maybe the new upper will just completely remove that anyway and I won't need to. But I'd certainly love to use that midsole again in the rotation. It's just so forgiving. I hope to see these drop very soon here in the UK. We do seem to be getting releases a little bit earlier than the US right now. I think it is out in Asia somewhere already. You can purchase it right now. I'll be very keen to pick up a pair for review in the very near future. So shoe 3 is the Nike Zoo Max Invincible Run Flyknit 2. Bet you weren't expecting that, were you? You guys know that I'm a big Adidas Pro fan. Those shoes just seem to really work for me. I'm not sure what it is. Is it the stack? Is it the drop? Is it the upper? Just seems to really fit with my running style. The last 2 iterations have been absolutely superb, and I see no reason why the third one won't be. I'm really stoked for the drop of the Adidas Pro 3. This opening release colourway is absolutely on point, from the tones of the upper to that great looking outsole. I'm seriously stoked about this Cyberpunk 2077 style release. Those green to yellow fades on the 3 stripes are just chef kiss stuff. The updated profile on the upper is magic, and it's got a really aggressive, sleek racing look. As I mentioned earlier, the Lightstrike Pro and those rods just seem to really work for me. Certainly at that sort of 10k through to a half marathon distance. Maybe I'll run a full marathon in one of these as well later in the year. One thing I have noted in pretty much all of the Adidas shoes using Lightstrike or Lightstrike Pro recently is that they do need a period of break-in to get the best out of them. I know that now, and I think if I review any more Adidas shoes in the near future, I've got to bear that in mind. Initial reviews can have to be at least 30 to 40 miles, I think, to get the best out of the shoe. I'm happy to take performance over a larger number of miles than just have a really nice step-in feel which disappears quickly. I found that in a lot of shoes recently. They feel great when you first step into them, but 20-30 miles down the line it's gone. Maximum anticipation though from me for the green glow of the Adidas Pro 3. So that's my top 4 most anticipated right now, in no particular order. Let me know your most anticipated pairs down in the comments, people. Musical interlude time. One of the most underrated songs, I think, that exists that very few people have heard, perhaps, or they haven't heard for a long time, is by Chaz and Dave. Ain't No Pleasing You. It's a beautiful yet bitter sort of love song about how the singer was, with somebody, but nothing they ever did was good enough. I think everyone's been there, haven't they, at some point, where you try your best to make things work out, but it just doesn't quite happen. The lyrics in this song are absolutely fantastic. Really sung from the heart as well. There's some sincerity there. But the star of the show, aside from those incredible toms at the start of the actual track, is really the string section that comes in. It is triumphant. It just soars. You only had to say the word, and you know I'd do it. I mean, it's just fantastic. Brilliant lyrics here from Chaz and Dave. In fact, all their tracks always had some really thought out words, just really mean something. I tend to miss that these days. I'm just hearing cookie cutter stuff. It's all made with an algorithm. Not Chaz and Dave though. Beautifully played, beautifully sung. Ain't No Pleasing You. Go and check it out. You won't be disappointed. Just make sure you've got some tissues to dry your eyes. That's just about all from me for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I always appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, and also share it with your running buddies. My name's Eddbud, and I'll be seeing you